A couple of 2-1 teams set to square off, and we're underway here in NFL Week 4.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
They start the drive with Cook. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Well, this defense for the Saints, they were very strong last week in the win over Carolina.
And what I saw on film was a nearly unstoppable pass rush. 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries given up. So now what do you do on offense? You just max protect, keep everyone in and run the ball? Or maybe just 1 or 2 receiver routes in order to try and keep your quarterback upright.
8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2.
Here's Cook again.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 4 coming up.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
And they'll look to avoid an early 3 and out here on 3rd and 4. To throw, Cousins.
Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down.
That you're going to see from this offense is that they love the matchup with their wide receivers against this secondary. That one wasn't successful, but don't expect them to back away from attacking all game long.
Pilardi now on the punt as he sends this one away. Landry now on the return. Now a hit and a loose football. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. And maybe getting a little too cute there on the punt return. Sometimes they forget paramount holding on to that football.
I really do believe most of the return guys think to themselves, when I get the ball, I'm going to make the play that's going to change the game. I'm going to break it. And you love that they have that attitude, but your point is so well taken. What do you have to do? First and foremost,
hold on to it.
Take care of the football. That's all he needed to do.
They went 3 and out on their first drive. Things already looking better here. 1st and 10. Although his reputation as a speedy runner precedes him, it's always fun to watch him work.
It is eye-opening, isn't it? Because when you see him get the ball and just go, in addition to that speed, it helps out his blockers. They don't.
And he's wrapped up, taken down, back at the 25. Marcus Davenport, the first rounder out of UTSA with a sack. You know darn well both of these teams reviewed the film and saw that this defense had 5 sacks last week. They got to keep their QB upright.
And they're going to try their best to do exactly that. But they're facing a team where getting to the quarterback is a mindset. It's a mantra for them. And they play a game within the game. And you know what it is? Let's race to the quarterback and see who gets there first.
After the sack on 1st down, Cousins. And he will find his big tight end over the middle. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
Cook will score. Touchdown, Vikings. So a good job there, Charles, taking advantage of the short field, and they score first, punching it in on the short touchdown run.
I love the theme there, right? They didn't have to do anything big on that drive. Took advantage of where they were on the field, took it downfield, put the ball in the end zone. The only thing big on that drive, the 6 on the scoreboard.
And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
Winston and the Saints now with a 1st and 10
at their 25-yard line. They begin on the ground with Kamara. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
So this game here in London, the first of 5 games in the NFL International Series for 2022. We'll see the Giants and Packers here next week. Broncos and Jags at Wembley at the end of the month. The Seahawks and the Bucs, that'll be in November in Munich, Germany. First time a game's been held there. And then we wrap up down in Mexico City, November 21st. Cardinals and Niners from Estadio Azteca.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. Charles, already trailing by touchdown early. This offense, how imperative is it for them to get points out of this drive?
Well, they feel like they have to go ahead and match because of what was already on the board against their defense. But I think even more so, you just want to avoid 3 and outs. You want to be able to stay on the field for a little while, let your defense catch their breath a little bit, even if you don't score any points.
On 3rd down, Winston. Open man is Michael Thomas. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. That good for 19 yards as they pick up the conversion on 3rd.
I don't care how many times we say it, I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. 1st down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
The Saints at 2-1 now to start the campaign, and they move back above 500 with a victory last week.
And you look at their start, a win, a loss, then a win. This might be something we see from them.
Oh, into a sea of defenders and intercepted. It's Cameron Dantzler who picks it. And the Vikings are going to have great field position here as this is returned just shy of midfield. And, Charles, that's now 4 interceptions over his last 3 halves of football because, remember, he threw 3 picks last week.
Starting to wonder if maybe defenses and those coordinators have identified something on tape with what he's doing. Maybe a movement, maybe the way he's moving his shoulders. Who knows what it could be? He could have a few tells out there that they're keying in on and allowing defenses to get to the football a little bit faster. People steal signals. Maybe sometimes they can figure out what the quarterback's doing just by his movements.
The drive starting with a 1st down, 11 yards on that pickup.
Very nice catch there by Justin Jefferson, one of the best receivers in the game after just 2 seasons in the league. As a rookie, 2nd-team All-Pro, and then in his 2nd year, was 2nd in the league in yardage. This guy continues to grow and get better with every game.
1st down, here's the run with Cook. Room here to run. Touchdown, Vikings.
Dalvin Cook,
his 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year.
And the Vikings are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Extra point tacked on by Lambeau. And that'll make the score 14-0. And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started.
Well, Charles, it's kind of gut check time. Look, I know it's early, first quarter, just their second drive of the game, but they've already thrown the interception, given up the score. You're down double digits. They got to figure out something, and pretty quickly here.
No doubt about it. And when we look at that sideline, I'm sure you're observing the same thing I am. I don't like the body language at all. They look like they're in a state of stunned disbelief. So to me, we always talk about someone stepping up and making a big play. I think it would behoove them if multiple guys step up and make big plays right now. They need something positive to happen, and they need for it to happen now. You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field, because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be second down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Winston. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line.
Well, they're certainly not giving much help to their defense, are they? Because for the second time now, that D has had to run back out on the field early after an interception. And remember, on the last drive, the opposing side took it in for 6 after that interception.
Following the interception, Cousins. Swinging this out wide here for Cook. And he's taken down inside the 30. 12 yards there, first down Vikings.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Off the play fake, Cousins. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. That's the former Buckeye Pete Werner getting the sack.
He only gave them an instant to react. It was a classic case of if you blink, you missed him. Off of the line and to the quarterback in just a couple of seconds. Running back only had a moment to react and attempt to throw a block.
To try again after the sack. Cousins under pressure, and they got to him again. They overload him that time of the safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. He'll get this complete to Jalen Reagor. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A real letdown defensively. That was 3rd and a bundle, but they allow the conversion. So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. From the red zone now, Cousins. This one brought in by Jefferson. Touchdown, Vikings! Justin Jefferson, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings take a 3-touchdown lead. Point after by Lambo, up and good. And it's now 21-0. So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. 21-0 our score after one. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Winston. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
And he's only hit on 2 of his first 6 passes. Time for a quick quarterback regroup here with a big 3rd down coming up.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. From the shotgun, it's Winston. There's Chris Olave. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Winston on target to Olave for the Saints first.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
Now a 1st down carry. It's Kamara. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Jameis to throw it. He's got the hook up here to Deshaun Jackson. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line.
And I don't think there's any question that this offense is going to need to hit on a few more plays like this. It's been a difficult first half for them, to say the least. And I do believe if they want to get back in this game, they need to start right now. It's kind of like making adjustments. If you try and wait until the half, it's probably too late. They need to get going right here.
Eric Kendricks in on the tackle. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's Winston. He'll find his tight end. It's Adam Troutman. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
This will be the 8th play of the drive here. 3rd and 4. Winston. Gets this to a standout receiver, Thomas. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 25-yard line. A sizable 16-yard chunk there. The drive continues. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now here's a little touch pass as they tap it quickly to their receiver. The ball is out. Kamara fumbled it. And the Vikings pick up the football. And so the last 3 drives, you've got 2 interceptions and a fumble. I think we know why they're losing right now.
Without question, and we've seen the evidence, just what you talked about there. If they take care of the football, number 1, maybe they're not having this deficit. And number 2, maybe they actually have the lead.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Everything right now that they touch on this side of the football, it seems to turn to gold. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. That lead continues to grow. And, I mean, if they can get points here, Charles, might almost be an insurmountable comeback for the other side.
I think you make a great case for that, so I'm going to flip it over to the other side. Could they make the big comeback? Certainly. Am I expecting it? Not at all. I think if we don't see a drastic change in how they're playing, this blowout's going to get bigger and bigger before the final gun.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Cousins. He'll find Thielen working the middle. Call it a gain of 6 on the play. And that brings up 3rd and a full 10 yards.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
On third down, Cousins. That's caught by the tight end, Irv Smith Jr.
And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And that's well executed there on third down. And I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. From the gun, here's Cousins. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. The catch and run, good for 18 and a first down.
Let's just call it what it is. This has been a flat-out struggle for this defense all game long. They've really had a hard time slowing them down. And while I'm not big on speeches and guys jumping up and down, they might need their team leader on defense to get in their face right now and light a fire under these guys. They've got to start playing better assignment football and start getting guys on the ground.
Cousins gives way to Cook.
On a determined run there as he's going to take this all the way down near the 40. 77 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 41. Now Cousins.
And he's got this to Jefferson. And he's going to get this down near the 25.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Up the middle, it's Cook. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26.
All right, so they got that one, Charles, against the center.
And let's remember how difficult it is for the center, because remember, he's got to snap the ball to put the play in motion, and sometimes you got that big guy on your nose. You got sometimes where he's coming at you at an angle. It's a difficult job for him to snap the ball and then execute his block.
Now Cousins. Now they set up the screen. That's complete.
And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line.
That was play number 7 on this drive, and it got him 7 yards.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. $13 yards remaining on second down.
From the shotgun, it's Cousins.
Complete. Jefferson the target. And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here.
If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
Cousins again. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. Able to get what they need to keep the drive going with a 6-yard pickup on third down.
Certainly not a positive sign if you're the D coordinator and you see your guys give up that space so early in the game. Third down, that's when the clamps are supposed to come out, but his ability to create things with his legs makes things difficult.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11.
Cook up the gut. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down, and as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
On 2nd down and 4, Cousins toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. 3rd down. Here's a run by Cook. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Dalvin Cook on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Vikings are able to add on to their first-half lead. Extra point tacked on by Lambeau. And that makes the score 28-0. And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. This will be fielded inside the 5. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And with time quickly fading here in the 2nd quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
And this drive is almost over before it began thanks to a great defensive effort. Sack on 1st down, followed by an incompletion. One more good rep, and they get off the field.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Well, based on what we've seen so far, I don't think you can even call this an off day anymore, partner, because this group we're watching, they are totally out of rhythm, trying to get their game plan up and running. That 0 on the scoreboard is glaring down at them with every incompletion.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. All that remains is to snap this once, and that'll do it for the first half of play. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As it's time now to send you back stateside to Orlando, Florida, and check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. As they say here in London, all to play for as we are back underway in the 2nd half. And the half will begin with a touchback. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. The CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the 2nd half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one. And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. To throw is Winston. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The Saints first down there on a gain of 11.
Well, they certainly had their share of troubles running the football in this one, but this play is almost an extension of the running game right here. They set up the screen, let him work out in space on the perimeter, and he turns it into a big pickup.
Winston to give. It's Kamara.
And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Here's Winston. That's to his running back. It's Alvin Kamara.
And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon. And it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. A 10th carry for Kamara. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
Well, that ground game just continues to struggle to really get any momentum in this ball game, Charles. And I mean, you're at the point here, 3rd quarter, down 4 scores, probably going to have to put it in the air.
Oh, no question about it. So that's your only chance, your only opportunity. But think of the pressure you just put on your offensive line, because if you're a pass rusher, you're not even thinking about them running the football. All you're doing is getting into that sprinter stance and going after the quarterback.
That'll wind up a gain of 27 on the catch and run.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
And here he'll get it down to the 7. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Throwing, Winston. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Dalvin Tomlinson, credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6.
And the passing game's been struggling a bit today, and that was the latest example. Haven't been getting much yardage out of it, and now on his back after the last play, he faces 3rd and long.
So now after the sack, Winston and the Saints needing to figure out what to do. Tough play, 3rd and long.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw.
And that is incomplete. But the pressure there on 3rd down, forcing the errant pass. 4th down coming up. Winston to the sideline here on 4th down, and Will Lutz gets set for a New Orleans field goal try.
From the left hand, should be a fairly easy one here. The kick by Lutz is good.
So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away.
This will be fielded inside the 5.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
Now, the first half definitely went their way, and this would seem to be a great opportunity to kind of put this game a little closer out of reach with a score here.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful opportunity for them, because if they can add 7 more to their lead before the other guys even see the football, that could be the decisive blow in this game. I think that's how they're eyeing it. That's how they're approaching it.
to the ground on first down. Here's Madison. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
On second down, Cook. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards. And not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Cousins on 3rd and 2. And he's got his tight end. That's Smith. And he will have the Vikings first down. It's a gain of 6 that time on 3rd and 2.
And that one was a lot of fun right there because that was the game within the game. 3rd and short, blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And that was a quick little completion. Got the job done for a first down.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game, and while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
On 2nd and 7, Cousins. Open man, he's got Jefferson across the formation. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll try the middle with Cook. This will be a gain of about 8 to the 27-yard line.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Second down, they go right back to Cook. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. 107 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Well, this has been a long drive. In fact, it's eaten up a good chunk of the 3rd quarter, which is precisely what you want when you're playing with the lead. You control the football, you control the clock, and impose your will on the defense.
Under pressure, and he'll go down back at the 26-yard line. Marcus Davenport picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon. And that's his 2nd sack in this one.
And you just can't ask a defensive end or an edge rusher to play any better than what we're seeing right now. And, partner, it's still just the 3rd quarter. I'm thinking he's not done yet. Even if he's not getting a sack, he's bringing a lot of pressure to the pocket.
Another try after the first down sack. Cousins. And the pressure gets to him again. Marcus Davenport dropping him for the 2nd straight play. Might want to think about blocking him here on 3rd down.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
Throw left side complete. That's Cook. And he's going to get this to about the 20, but that is well short of what he needed. They do get 7 out of that, but not enough to prevent a 4th down. And Lambeau will put this one through. So after 4 touchdowns in the game for this offense, this time they're forced into taking the 3.
But you did mention 4 touchdowns, right? So 4 out of 5, not too bad. I think that's a pretty good record for them.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that, because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
Welcome back now here in London. It's the Saints who hold the football, but they're trailing as we begin the fourth quarter of play. Winston now to throw on first down. To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. They'll give him 4 yards there, and that's going to bring up second down. Now Winston.
This ball tipped, and it's going to be incomplete. Fortunate maybe to get that back. It's third down.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
To the air again with Winston.
A throw over the middle taken in by Troutman. And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
Decided to hand it off that time on the run-pass option.
Appeared to be an easy decision. Just gave it inside. Nice steady gain.
On second and 2, Winston. Olave holds it in. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 24-yard line. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Well, this game is certainly pretty well over. They go ahead and mark it in the win column. But as a defense, they don't want to get so soft now that everybody just throws the ball all over the place against them, gets big yardage, and puts points on the board. They have pride, too, on that side of the ball.
Kamara there with a first down carry, but not much running room, and he takes it forward for only a couple. It's second down.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front, because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
The last run good for 2. Here's second and 8. They'll try the counter with Washington. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
That run wasn't a big breaker, but I don't think the guys on offense mind very much. They've got a nice drive going, and they might just be luring the defense in a little bit. They could probably come back with a play action, maybe go over the top. But right now, on this drive, their playbook is open.
On third down, Winston.
He'll get this one underneath to Kamara.
And I don't think he got there, no. He's short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. Desperation time. Winston on 4th down. And this is caught. He hits Landry.
And he is going to have the Saints first down as they manage to convert. And that'll keep the drive alive.
4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I'd look down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays have been successful throughout the game that have worked at the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
And able to get him inside the 5 here, just inside the 5 to about the 4.
51 yards rushing for him now to this point.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down. That fits the bill.
A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. Again, it's Kamara. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans.
Alvin Kamara with his 6th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Saints are finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter.
Lutz with the extra point, and that'll cut the lead back down to 21. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
Well, the win for them at this point seems pretty assured. I mean, still a decent amount of time left here in the 4th quarter, Charles, but you got the football, you're up 3 scores. They have to be feeling really good about where they're at.
I love your observation skills, partner, because I think you saw them charge onto the field fired up about another chance to get into the end zone. Looks to me like this group is ready to crush any hope left on the opposing sideline, and they want to do it with some gusto, too.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. They'll go Madison up the middle, and he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. This defense starting to buckle down when they need to, and right now they're winning this 4th quarter, losing the game, but they're winning in the 4th quarter.
And what a fine line it is about what they're trying to get done, because they're down, so they obviously need the football, need a score, but they can't be so aggressive as to give up their edge, their gaps, and have the offense hit them with a big play.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
Well, 4th quarter with a 3-score lead here, Charles, but they're still going back to the air and looking for more points.
Well, with this game well in hand, it's an opportunity for the guys to come off the bench and get a chance to play. And a lot of coaches, they want to run their full playbook no matter who's on the field.
It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started.
Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about it.
And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. And I don't know that that fumble is going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the 4th. It doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline still scratching his head.
Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about, we're going to address this come practice next week, because maybe that's the reason we're down this far. Doesn't matter at this point, but being sloppy throughout the game, not going to help them improve.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
And they have to be feeling pretty good. Comfortable 4th quarter lead as they take over following the fumble recovery.
And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he is going to lose yardage here. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming.
Now that's a nice play. Got me fired up, partner. But can they do it back-to-back plays? All the training that you go through as a defense for these situations, when you have to get the ball back, everything you go through, holding up the runner, raking up the football, getting to the passer, knocking it out of his hands, whatever way, they have to get the ball back.
Now can they stand tall again for a huge 4th quarter stop?
And he's going to be stopped here at the 43, and that is not near enough to pick up the first. They'll get 6 on the play, and it's going to take us to the 2-minute warning. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got a 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. Here's Michael Pilardi now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. Yikes. Terrible kick headed straight for the sidelines. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
On 1st and 10, Winston. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
A 2nd down throw for Winston. And, oh, Jameis intercepted a 3rd time. It's Cameron Dantzler who picks it. And the Vikings are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line.
So many times we end a game, and as we're recapping it, we're talking about what offenses did and how they won the game. Let's flip this one over. The defense, they frustrated the offense the entire ball game. That's why they're walking out of here with a victory.
And they're going to love to walk out of here with that as their final act, that interception. Good way for them to end it. And they'll take a knee as the clock runs under a minute to play. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. And they will take a knee here. So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory. And it was a game where they were off and running in the first quarter, Charles, and never looked back.
You know, partner, after a while, we always say the same thing, don't we? They set the tone early, right? They started fast. So I asked a few of my horse racing friends, do you have a term for me that we can use to cover that? And they said, yeah. When a horse breaks out like that, you say he caught a flyer out of the gate. And that's exactly what this team did today. I mean, they jumped out there, jumped on them, and were never headed.
So for the Vikings, they're on a nice early roll as they move to 3-1 with a win here. And now it's off to Heathrow as they get set to fly back to the U.S. in a couple hours. Meanwhile, for New Orleans, they'll fall back to 500 at 2-2. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Seattle Seahawks.
Hey, DJ Mosky, let's get it. We the champions here in Los Angeles. We doing numbers. Bringing home victory straight out the huddle. I'm at the plug, introduced to my brothers. My squad superior, ain't none above us. We doing numbers. Gang in the building, we taking it over. Call the promoters. I just put up in this thing with my soldiers. I blew it and I'm still. That's Smith, I'ma need me some. Call up Khalifa. Brand new in the. You know I stay with some bad little baby. TGOD, baby, no, that's a gang gang. Crazy girls after the game. We throwing hundreds, we going insane. Pouring this. Dead homies got me pouring this. We get awards, but we give God the glory. I'm shooting my shot, and most times I be scoring. Do this for my city.